Hey folks, Wizard here of Wizardofmoe Games at the Wizard's Table. I'm here tonight with the Scribe.
Hello.
And we are now going to build his character so that when Wizardofmoe Games streams the Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era, this will be the second character. Now, I've only had one comment on the name of my character. If you recall that I created a Nord character. Let's get in there and put some more name ideas in there. We're also going to want you to put into the comments of this one, name the character that the Scribe builds. So we're going to show you what he builds now. And he's new to this, so bear with us. And he's just going to start with his class and start digging through those and find what he wants to play. He already knows what I'm running.
Well, I picked the green because I'm generally green in most things we do. So that's going to be my book and my player board. So here are the characters. Let me get my eyes. I can't see squat. All right. Argonians. Bretons. Forgive me if I say this wrong because I never played the game. My daughters did, but I did not. Dark Elves. High Elves. Get tenacity. Imperials. The Khajiits. One of my daughters loved being the Khajiits in the video game.
We can give that to the ninja since he's allergic.
The Nord, and the Wizard is the other Nord card missing from this pile. And it had Reveler on it also?
Yes, yes.
It's almost like Berserker, isn't it?
Yeah.
We have the Orcs, Swift Warrior, the Red Guard with Adrenaline Rush, and Wood Elves, who seem to help other party members with health die status. Yep. Well, I have always been a tank. I have been a bard at one time, but most of the time I'm the tank. I'm kind of liking the look of the orcs.
All right. And we could have probably placed bets on that, and several of us would have got paid off. That's awesome. It's right up your alley.
I like this guy right here.
All right. Well,
we have this. There's a female. With a staff.
And the pictures.
This guy has a staff.
Anything you want.
I know, but just you know, she's an archer, and he has a big battle axe. I like the battle axe and the helmet. Let's go with that guy.
Pretty cool. All right. Well, then let's check your stats on that. But first, tell us what your race ability is on your card.
Is this?
Yeah.
It says Swift Warrior. Once per battle, at the end of your turn, gain 1 over fatigue to take an immediate extra turn.
All right. So you're basically just spending it all. You're gassing yourself out to take one more attack, and hopefully that finishes the battle.
So it's a double attack.
That's pretty cool.
5 health, 2 stamina, 2 magicka.
It's not a double attack because you can engage multiple times. It's a whole new turn.
Oh, so a second turn.
That's right. At the beginning of your turn is when you cool down and get dice back. So you can engage and engage and engage. You take another turn, you're going to get dice back again.
Nice.
See?
Okay. Well, I get 3 on the cooldown anyway.
Well, that's cool.
But only 1 combat, but I'm assuming that can be manipulated.
Well, let's start from the top there. What do you have health-wise?
5 health.
All right, we're going to dig through these things over here. All right, this chip has a 4 and a 5 on it, so you're going to start with 5 health.
Okay.
And that's how many chips you're going to get to put under your character or your race, and you're going to get to decide where you put that because, just as I said, if you start on the left, you'll be competing with stuff that's on the right.
Over here?
Yeah,
over here?
and over there. Yeah, that's right.
So health goes where?
you can put it in any of those slots and just think to yourself, how much health am I going to raise up and what do I want to put running against that? Maybe you're not buying a whole lot of extra health. If you are, then you might want to keep that open and not press it against something that has a whole lot of stuff.
Let's put health in the bottom corner.
Sounds good. You're going to start with 5. Now, if you ever go above 5, you're going to fill in with these little red things, and that would mean you have 6, and then 7, and then 8.
And that goes into these
You would, but you would buy them. So going from the left to the right, you would spend the white 1 point of experience to fill that one, 1 for the second, then 2s, and then 3s.
Oh, okay.
So they become progressively harder going one direction, and then this way it would be 1s, 2s, and 3s going the other direction.
In the black.
In the black.
Okay.
Correct.
Down this side.
So currently your health is 5. You have 5 health chips. Let's look through here.
Yeah, find the guy. He's a dude with a helmet and a big old battle axe.
I think they are the purple ones. Let me look here. I'm going to go through here.
I love these chips. These chips are awesome. Now, I'm not a big fan of the game.
Too Many Bones.
I'm not a big Too Many Bones fan. Sorry guys, I'm not.
There's the guy.
But it does have some fantastic art.
Yeah.
And the parts and pieces to the game are just great.
Well,
so that's going to be my guy from now on.
There he is. And
there he is.
Whenever you take damage, you're going to peel one of those chips out from under him.
Right.
And whenever you heal, you're going to put them back underneath. And whenever you gain more health, you'll add more chips to him. All right, so that's your health. What's your next stat?
Stamina of 2.
All right, so stamina, what this tells you several things. You're going to choose a place to put your stamina chip in, and then wherever you put it, you're going to put these 2 representing 2 stamina. Basically, down those rows is going to occupy one of the slots. You can only ever have 24 of those slots filled.
Right.
But further on in the game, you have the opportunity to untrain them, but it's not...
Since nobody's played this game...
Correct.
What kind of averages do you get in addition to health and to stamina?
Well, your stamina is how far you can move. So if you only have 2, you're only going to move 2 spaces. You're probably going to be able to want to move
maybe
further.
An extra 2 or 3?
Maybe 3.
Okay.
4 would probably be high.
That'd be really nice,
but
yeah.
The second thing that happens with stamina is your range when you're using a ranged weapon, say a bow.
Okay.
It's how far you can shoot. So somebody with a bow is probably going to want 4 or 5 of these.
So they're not going to want to put one range, this here.
Versus
and then some
else.
other trait here that's going to take up some of the spots.
And then the third thing that this does is how many dice you can roll per engagement. So this gives you how many? This one is none. These are what's doing it. That's just occupying the row, and this tells you how many you have.
Okay.
So if you have 8 dice, but you're only able to roll 2 at a time, you roll 2.
So in the beginning of the game, I have 2 stamina. Let's say I put it right here. This is the spot I like.
All right.
I'm going to get these 2.
You're going to put them in there.
So guaranteed I'm moving 2 spaces at the beginning of the game.
Correct.
Okay.
2 spaces.
Okay. All right. Make sure.
And rolling 2 dice and a 2 range if you're using a ranged weapon, depending on what skills you pick.
Right.
All right. So what's your next stat?
Next stat is Magicka of 2.
Magicka of 2. All right. So this comes with this. Takes up a slot. It's basically just like stamina, only it doesn't count towards your movement. It counts towards your range and how many dice of a magic type skill you can roll. So,
all right. So this is my Magicka. I still have to deal with combat. And cooldown is this slot.
Correct.
Combat's going to take one of these slots.
Correct. So if you don't plan on going into magic whatsoever,
I don't plan on it.
You could put it against something that you're wanting to really push out, and then just leave those there. And at some point, you could just untrain that magic, and basically remove it off the board.
Yeah, this guy's a tank, so I don't believe I'm going to do anything. So it could just sit over here.
Correct.
And if I never use it and fill the slot full of movement,
correct,
it's just useless at that
and
point.
you may later in the game decide, I might just want a couple of magic dice that might help
as we
something.
advance in our nature.
Correct.
Okay. I'll put him here.
All right, we'll put your 2 blue things in your slots.
Boy,
That is your magic.
That's going to take 2 away.
Well, and again, by the time you fill that stamina up, you may be to the point to where, say, I'm going to untrain this and just pop it out.
Just lose the experience points.
They were free.
They were free. They were free. I didn't have to pay for them, so it's no big deal to lose
Correct.
them. I'm good.
So you cannot untrain your... let's see.
There is rules
There's
on this,
something
right?
where you cannot untrain. I think your stamina, you can't untrain it to the point where you can't move. I don't think.
Right.
Yeah.
But that'll never happen. So
yeah. All right.
But you can untrain this to the point where you can't
correct.
throw any magic.
I'm not doing any magic whatsoever. Yeah.
Okay.
You can, and that'll open up that slot. And then next is your combat.
Yep. Combat of 1.
Here's your little combat. So
and we'll just put that We'll put that at the top.
Okay.
Because that's the combat.
And
that's the important stuff.
Yes, it is. So combat doesn't have a little thing. Your level of combat is measured in combat dice.
Okay.
So you put a dice in the first slot next to it. And so that die has basically, I think it has 4 ones.
Put the eyes back on.
4 ones, a 2, and a tenacity. And that's like too many bones. This would be like your backup plan. And so
that's
you'll have
tenacity?
That's tenacity. Anywhere you see this, anywhere in the game, is that little
okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2,
it's
3,
6.
4, 5. Yeah. Is that within that circle? Anything in the game, that is tenacity. Okay. That's what it's representing. So if you roll that, it's a miss, and you're like, man, that really ticks me off. Well, the more you get ticked off, the more tenacity you get, and then you're going to use that, and I'll tell you how to spend that later when you pick your class.
Okay.
So you're starting with one of these, but if you get 1 experience, you could always buy another one for 1. At the end of every turn, every day, you get rewards phase where you can spend your experience points and buy stuff.
Okay.
All right?
Every day.
Every day. So we'll set this aside. You're not going to need that. So those are the...
And when cooldown's the next thing. I need the little pins.
These are the little metal...
These are fantastic little pins.
Sword hilts. And you're going to have 4 on your player board. There's 4 different locations that you'll put those. So... The first one is a battle form. You're not going to have to worry about that till you get into combat. Right. And then you'll choose what form you're starting in. That'll determine what dice you can roll and different things, especially with items that you have. It might say, if you're in this form, do this, do that. So your tenacity, your cooldown. Yeah, your cooldown's at 3.
3? Oh, I thought it said 1. I can't see.
So it would cost you 2 experience to go to 2, and it would cost you 3 more to go to that. So you, in essence, have already used 6 experience points for free.
Nice. Because that's the character's nature.
Correct. So one of those goes there on your cooldown. The other one is going to go on this 0 part of your experience.
On the 0? Okay.
Yeah. So when you gain experience, you can actually store up to 3 of it and carry it over to the next day. You don't have to spend them immediately. Okay? Yeah, it's a fresh mat.
It's a fresh mat, so the punches aren't quite there.
Yeah. And then one of those will go down in your tenacity at 0.
Over here?
Yeah, all the way on that left.
And the black 0.
Which has the little sides on it. And then one of them is for your battle form. And what I do when we store them, I just lay those 2 down and put the thing on top of it. So if you gained a couple of experience, you said, I'm really wanting to push my cooldown up. I'm going to save it. You can save it and spend as much as you want now and as much as you want later, but you can only ever store 3 experience points. And I know they seem small, but that's just the nature of the way this game is made.
So health, I don't add any to this.
Unless you buy them later with experience points.
Stamina, I've got my 2.
You can buy more of that later.
Magicka, here's that with my 2.
Correct.
Combat is here with my 1 die, because it's 1. and cooldown is 3, so it's cooldown in the 3rd position.
And see, that works for you because I think, didn't the orc say he could take over fatigue or
once per
fatigue?
battle, after the end of your turn, gain 1 over fatigue to take an immediate extra turn.
Okay.
Which would come to this row and allow me to play whatever else I have to play.
But it's not going to come out automatically. When you cool down, it's just going to keep cycling because it's over fatigue. But there's ways to mitigate that as well. All right, so that's basically the race. All set up. Your mat is set up and good to go. You're going to get combat as a skill for free.
The basic combat skill.
And that tells you what you can do with that combat die. The first section of it here tells you that if you're in two-handed, one-handed shield, or range, you can roll that die and deal damage to an enemy.
Let me read this real quick just to make sure. Combat skills represent raw damage, output, or defense. Combat skill dice results have a different meanings depending on your current battle form. Combat skill dice can be rolled in any battle form except, what is the circle with the star in it?
Except magic.
Okay.
So anything physical, it can be rolled.
So combat of ranged, melee, single, or dual-handed.
It deals damage.
Times 14.
There's 14 of those dice available because all 4 characters will be getting those dice.
Okay. Okay, yeah. That's the availability of the dice to add to it.
Correct.
Deal X damage to your target. Same with this 14. When you're dealt damage enemy, you may exhaust this die to prevent X damage.
So basically, when you're in defense, you're going to put it in this top row, which is your active slot, and every point of damage that comes in, if it's not true damage, can be blocked by that.
All right.
All right? So you start with that. Everybody starts with combat. You got to have some sort of combat skill. Now you get to dig through this gaggle of skills, and those are going to offer up other dice that you can use with your character. But don't be afraid to say, oh, there's so many, I want some. Get something that's going to get you started because you'll be able to get more skills when you go to town. You'll be able to train and get the little disc and put it somewhere. And then at the end of your day, you can spend experience to get the dice. Okay?
Well, he is an orc.
Yep.
So that's a combat warrior. I wouldn't think orcs are known for acrobatics. I mean, they might be, but...
A very flexible orc.
And using a bow, that don't seem like an orc either. He's usually a hand weapon.
And we know a couple other members that will probably jump all over.
Yeah, I'm trying not to step on their feet, because they like other stuff. Summoning, that would be more like a cleric or a wizard. A destruction staff, that would also be a...
That's what I've got.
A cleric or a wizard, but yours is a...
I'm a Nord, but I have destruction staff.
So cleric style.
I'm a spell sword.
There you go.
So I'm like a
little bit of both.
War mage or something like that. Yeah.
There's some heavy armor in here, and from what I understand, you can add to your armor class. So wearing that off the bat kind of seems like a waste. Illusion, that's also going to be a spellcaster. What is this word again? Legerdemain?
Legerdemain.
Legerdemain?
Yeah, I think that's with lockpicking and...
Magicka. Indicates,
manipulating.
It's
things.
A Magicka thing. It's a Magicka thing. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, light armor, same with that. I don't think I want to mess with armor since I can add to it anyway. Single-handed weaponry with shield. That's kind of me.
That's cool because the dice are multi-use. If you're in a combat stance, you can roll them and deal damage, and then put them up in your active slot, and then use them as defense.
Right.
So they're multi-use, but they do lighter amount of damage.
Yes.
But they also defend damage.
There's 7 die available in the discipline, with only 2, 1, and 1 in the advanced parts of the discipline. Heroic slash, defensive posture, and shield charge, which is a bash, I assume, in the D&D world. Restoring light, that's also Magicka. Shadow is stamina. I guess that could be anybody, really. Shadow cloak,
Yeah, if it doesn't show a battle form next to it, then it can be used in any. But if it says that's a stamina thing, so it's based on how much stamina you have.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of good because it gives you a little bit of stealth.
Yeah,
Speech.
The stealthy orc comes charging through the room.
Yeah, I'm a nobody saw me coming.
The stealthy orc bard.
There's an orc bard. Hey, it's happened. It's been done.
It has happened.
We've seen it.
Uh-huh.
Speech, which is also stamina, which allows people to basically intimidation, persuasive will. Uh-oh. Right here at the bottom. Two-handed. Wrecking blow, onslaught, momentum, executioner. And when you get more advanced, you have cleave and balanced blade. That sounds exactly like what this orc needs to be if he's going to be a tank. I believe that's what we're going to go with. The two-handed stamina.
All right. Well, perfect. We'll put it out there with your guy. That's your second skill.
Here.
Set those up. So what we need to do is dig through here.
Yep. What does it have there? It's a golden with a sword with two hands holding the sword.
It looks like that chip right there.
That's the one.
That is the one.
Now, where do I put this? In one of these locations?
Only at the beginning of the game. When you pick your first skill, it's going to come with 2 dice.
Mm-hmm.
So know that you already got 2 of those spaces are going to be filled with level 1 dice for this.
Okay.
And if you're wanting to upgrade it and do it more, you'll buy more dice and continue to move down that track. So
what else at this point is going to be filled in on this board?
Nothing.
So
you're basically
this row is empty.
Correct.
Then I have these 2 with minor.
You'll have 3 extra slots to put in. I've got 3 extra slots. So during your character build through the lifetime, you're going to start with 4 slots in, get your 5th slot as a skill, and then have 3 slots, but you could untrain one of those. So basically, you're going to have 4 more opportunities to add stuff in there and put dice in there or build up whatever you want to do or whatever.
Being this is a axe-wielding combat guy, I might want to go big with this.
Well, another thing.
But I don't understand the premise of the game.
Here's another thing to consider. With this two-handed weapon, will you be putting more combat dice or buying more combat dice when you get an opportunity to spend? Are you going to continue to spend up on this or add more combat die? You know, these can be rolled with combat dice as well, as long as you have the stamina to do it.
Well, I may add some, so I could always add something here if I need to.
Correct. So if you're going strong two-handed, I choose an empty row.
Yeah, I think I'm going to use the empty row to have the possibility to move whatever I want.
Correct.
So that's where I'm going to go with it. What's the where did I put it? Right here?
Yep. There you go.
That's where I'm going to put it, and we put these 2 dice.
And those are level 1. You have the opportunity. If you have a level 1, you can get a level 2. If you have a 2, you can get a 3. And I think this one goes up to
put them on the number
4.
1. Is that what it is?
The number 1 is what level it is.
When it rolls?
No, the level of the die when you're digging it out.
Oh, so they all have just 1s on.
These will have 2s on them. These will have 3s on them.
Okay.
So you know how to...
But this one has 1 and 2.
No, the roll is a 1 and a 2. The little bitty one that you're in the corner tells you what level the die is. Look at the little bitty one in the corner. Right there.
But
that's the level of the die. The number is in the black part.
Oh, that little number there.
That's the level of the die.
That's where these come in handy again.
Correct. The blind orc.
That's a good thing.
Pulls out his combat die and says, "Whoa, hold on. Let me check and see what level it is."
Okay, I see now. I see.
So those dice, says the blind orc. They have a little 1 on them.
They all have little 1s on them.
But they're not going to show a number for damage. That's where you refer to this card. So when the symbol is rolled, you're going to compare the symbol and say, "Oh, okay, this does 2," or "Oh, look, this does 3." And once you roll the symbols, you're going to learn them quick. Also, if you haven't noticed, on this where it shows the die,
let's put this over here.
There are some pips next to it. That tells you how many faces of that particular one are on the dice.
Oh, just to give you an idea ahead of time.
5 of those faces are damage of some sort, and one of them is tenacity.
Okay.
So you know 3 of them is the heavy hitter, 2 of them are the regular hitters.
So that's tenacity as single.
Correct.
Now, what does it mean? What is the difference between the sword with 1 flare or wing or flame and 2 flares, wings, or flames?
The sword with 1 flare, deal 2 damage to your target. The sword with 2 flares, deal 3 damage to your target, then gain 2 light fatigue.
All right.
So that's it.
All
It's telling you what the different faces do without writing all that on the die.
Gotcha.
Now, here's something to note. When you roll those dice, you can use them in any order. You can also choose not to activate it. So if you've got something like I've got a staff that deals damage to other people, but if my first one is enough to kill the guy off, I can choose not to activate it. It still goes to my cooldown, but I'm not going to process this die because I don't want to be taking the damage. It's overkill. You can do the same there. It's like, man, I don't want to take the fatigue and I've already done enough to kill him. You just put the die in the cooldown. You don't have to trigger it. Okay?
All right.
All right. So that you have an orc that has combat and has 2-handed weapons. So there's only one last thing to do, and that is to dig through and find a class. Now, this is where that famous tenacity comes in. I've been getting angry. I'm building up this tenacity. I know I can do something. You're going to use tenacity to trigger your class abilities. And those come with a novice side, and they come with
a master side.
A master side. And on the card itself, it'll tell you what the innate ability of the class is, and then it will also tell you what you need to upgrade it to the other side.
Yes, right here.
So any of them that are yellow are more stealth rogue related. The red ones are more combat related, and the blue ones are more magic related.
All right. So there's archer. I'm not an archer. There's bard and burglar. Arcanist. Acrobat. No. Healer. A knight. Here we go. A knight. I don't know. Upgrade 2 side quest. After the party gains a side quest, heal to full HP or gain 3 tenacity. So the party gets... Knights help the party. That's pretty nice. Necromancer. Nightblade. The Pilgrim. All trainers in a town populate 1 additional skill line.
Yeah, and that's where these things will get pulled out of the bag in the town. It says, hey, look what's available. This thing and this thing and this thing.
You took classes.
You would get another one. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, these are skills. These are the ones that give you dice.
Yeah, well, I meant classes in school.
Yeah.
You were trained.
That's right.
Ranger. Party's base overland movement increased by 1. That's the ranger leading you through the woods. The rogue. I'm not a rogue. That's for sure. Dragon Knight. Upgrade into battle with 1 HP. There are more undefeated enemies than undefeated party members. Ignore 1 defense of your target. Scout. Sorcerer. Yes, not me for sure. Templar. Ooh, that could be a Templar. Orc.
Take a look at it.
A little Holy Grail action there. Deal at least 4 damage and heal at least 4 HP on the same turn across any number of units. That's your upgrade. And if you start your turn in... Ooh, what is that half symbol? Circle with a half shade on it.
Defensive stance.
So if you start your turn in defensive, heal for 1 HP. So this guy's restoring spirit, sacred ground, sun shield. So he's definitely got some...
clerical type stuff.
Yeah, that's more... And Warden. Companion, heal yourself. Die, bomb of nature. That sounds more like Ranger stuff, even though it's in purple. Was that what Ranger was?
Ranger was in...
Where did I see that Ranger a minute ago? Scout, Dragon, Rogue, Ranger. He's red, but that sounds like Ranger stuff. Living Vines. Advanced species, feral guardians.
That sounds like druid.
Well, yeah, elves.
That's druid.
That's elves. Yeah, that's elves. Okay. I'm kind of liking this Dragon Knight right here.
Yeah, I think the Warden, you can like summon a pet squirrel. Or
yeah, it's like all kinds of things. Advanced species, feral guardians.
Okay.
Balm of nature.
All right.
But the Dragon Knight has Dragon Leap, which allows each adventurer to move extra hexes if you spend. Dragon Knight Standard, in any order, each adventurer may roll 2. Wow. This guy being with you allows the entire party to do stuff.
That's cool, and it's only 2 tenacity, but understand, depending on what you're rolling, tenacity could be hard to come by.
That's true.
There's other ways of getting it. Some of the item cards can do that. Some of the overland adventures, there are peaceful and there are combative ones, but if you do like a random one, you get tenacity for doing that, whether you succeed or not. You roll a die to determine whether it's a peaceful or combat.
Molten Weapons is direct damage, basically.
Okay, that's cool. Shooting fire out of your sword.
This is if you're using combat skills, dice deal true damage. Gain an over fatigue and recover 2 drained die with Cauterize and Dragon Blood. After you defeat an enemy, you may remove 2 light fatigue or over fatigue from your cooldown track, and it's an enduring trait.
Well, that's cool on the drain die, because if you look on your 2-handed chart, once you start getting into level 2 and level 3 dice, some of them have a drain ability on them. To use it, you have to drain the die. That allows you to recover it back.
So that's going to work together.
That's a synergy bonus there.
Well, synergy, yes. So Dragon Leap, it changes to each party member, each adventurer in Dragon Knight Standard. I like that.
All right.
I think, being who he is, that the Dragon Knight skill set will probably be what he needs. That's what we're going to go with.
Well, cool. All right, so we have an orc with a 2-handed skill, the Dragon Knight class. That looks cool. That's awesome.
What do we need to do with this? That's how he plays, or is there more stuff added at this point?
This is it, basically.
What about this? I need to put that here, right?
That's only when you're going into combat is when you choose it, so it doesn't matter.
So it just lays.
Yeah, it's just going to lay there. And if you look at the bubble that goes over this, the only thing it actually says
gives you a little spot
is your experience and your cooldown. Like that one will lay down in there. You won't need to worry about that. And when you put this over, it's going to save it.
Okay. So we just need to...
You leave that one in. Leave your 3.
Leave that one in?
Leave that one and that one in. It's got bubbles for it.
this 3?
That's right. Because those are going to build up throughout the game. You're going to get more dice. You're going to get more skills.
So we can just lay these.
Those 2 you can just lay down.
Right here.
When you put this on there.
So this is my guy.
That's your guy.
There's no place to put this in there, I assume.
There is not. And that's...
So I just need to know that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The way I stack it into the box, I'm just going to put it in here, and they're going to stack on top of each other.
Okay.
That's what I did with my character.
Well, that's me. That's me, guys. So I am a orc, a Dragon Knight orc, with a 2-handed battle axe.
Nice.
Or at least 2-handed sword of some type.
And
Probably
what we'll do, we'll put your stuff in your book. We'll cover that up. We'll put your book and that together, and then we'll just stick this. I want to put this in the box, but folks, the only thing we're missing for this guy is a name. So this is a Scribe. I am running...
He's an orc.
From the other video, I am running a Nord with a destruction staff.
I just slide this down in here.
I am a spell sword.
I watched your other video. I saw how you did this.
Yeah. It just slides right in. You can see the picture
right
in the front. And I've only got 1 comment on my name. And then he's going to need comments in there on what to name his character.
So I put these here?
Yes.
Combat first, 2-handed next, or...
It's your choice.
Doesn't matter.
That's your journal. However you're going to reference them is how you're going to use them.
Probably leave this open because we'll see it all the time.
There you go. But other than that, folks, I think the next time we come on, we will actually have the Ninja and Emperor build their characters. And then we will look to stream a live playthrough of the Elder Scrolls. Until then,
I can't wait, because I've never played the video game per se, but I'm a D&D fan from the way back. So
this is... I'm excited too. I can't wait. Too bad we couldn't get over there tonight, but we got other things going on, and then it won't be Valentine's, but maybe the week after,
or Saturday. I mean, whatever y'all feel like doing.
All right, but that's a promise. We'll definitely stream it live. But until then,
soon,
the Wizard and the Scribe. We are here tonight at the Wizard's table, and this is Wizardofmoe Games. Until next time, keep on gaming. Later.